perfect for this weather, a really nice classic recipe. We're going to do a split pea soup. We're going to do a little bit of a twist on it.
No ham hocks this time.
No ham hocks. No ham hocks. Obviously, your classic split pea will have the ham hocks. This is going to be a vegetarian version. What we're going to do is obviously use split peas. Now, there are two different varieties or main varieties anyways, of split peas that you would typically find. And I'll classify them as the yellow and the green because that's probably the way you're going to see them. So you can use either or. In terms of cooking time, they're pretty much the same. So you can really swap it out. It's more of a preference thing. I like the yellow ones. I think they're a little bit sweeter. They're a little bit milder. The green ones taste more like a pea, but they have like that a little bit of a bitterness, like a grassy bitterness to it. They're both tasty. Again, up to you. You can. It'll speed up the cooking time, but we didn't soak them. It's like a 25, 30-minute recipe. So if you did want to speed it up, you had the time, soak them even an hour, 2 hours ahead of time in cold water. The one thing you should do, though, and this goes with any dried beans, lentils, is lay them out on a flat plate or a flat pan and just sort through them quickly. Sometimes you do find little pebbles. It's real food. It happens. You know, and you don't want to bite on one of those guys. So just sort through them real quick. You take them out, and then you're good to go. So for this recipe, we're going to start off garlic and onion. Again, very simple. We got one onion. We're going to put it into a pan. Medium-high heat. Get that nice sizzle. But again, keep an eye on it. I don't want it to burn. And garlic, you can go as crazy as you want with the garlic. I think I said like 2 or 3 cloves on there. I have this massive clove, so that'll equate to 3 for me. And what you can do is slice it up. Because I'm going to partially blend this, I'm just going to leave it whole. So I'm not even going to chop it. So I'm just cutting it into more of a manageable size. Then you can use the side of your knife. You can even use the bottom of a glass and just give it a little bit of a crush like this. And you'll start to see some of that moisture already appear through. Christy has got a great trick. She says even leave it like that for a couple minutes. So onion in, garlic goes in just like that. Maybe just a small pinch of salt. Again, that'll help to soften the onions a little bit. It's going to start to promote some of that water extraction out of the onions. So it'll cook it down, makes it a little easier. And then, 2 ingredients. You can spice it up with whatever you want. It's cold outside, so in my head, I'm in the islands, in Thailand, maybe Malaysia. So we're going to go with that theme today. And I'm going to use some turmeric. Again, not a very powerful spice, kind of mild, but it has some nice aroma to it. It's going to give it some really nice color as well. So I'm just adding about like a half a teaspoon in there. And I have ground coriander seed as well. One of my favorites. I saw that look. So if you hate cilantro, give the seeds a chance. Give the seeds a chance.
It'll convert you. Not the same
flavor. No,
right?
it does not taste like cilantro at all. It has almost like a lemon and lime zest mixed together. It has a very citrusy sort of smell.
Why don't you add some and then I'll pass it around and the class can give it a little sniff. Yeah. We want to convert some people today.
And you might even smell it. It's not hot, so very mild, and it has a sort of like I said, almost like a lemony sort of aroma to it. Like lemongrass. Did you say lemongrass? I think that's the perfect example, yeah. Like lemongrass.
Said.
So that goes in. You can see from the overhead cam there, it's softened a little bit. You have some really nice color. Anytime you're using ground spices, you just want to cook it out just a little bit. It's like 1 or 2 minutes. Stir it through. Okay, a little bit like lemongrass. Then we're going to go ahead and add our split peas. We're going to add about a cup to this. And for every cup of split peas, I like adding about 4 cups of water. Or 4 cups of liquid. You can add water if you don't have stock. Vegetable stock, again, we have a great recipe, vegetable stock from scratch, super easy, very healthy for you, and the flavor is just going to be that much better, right? So 4 cups, this is just under 4 cups, but about 4 cups in there. And that is it. Let that simmer. You can even put the lid on top, turn the heat down to low, and let it cook for about 30 minutes. Just until the peas will start to break apart. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But you'll notice that it'll be a little bit soupier, a little bit more on the thinner side. When split pea soup, if you've made it before, you definitely know this. As it cools, it thickens up considerably. So that's delicious, as is soup done. You can't get any easier than that first soup. What I like to do, again, because we don't have the ham hock, the bone in there, giving it lots of flavor, I want to add some freshness to this. So we're going to make a very quick salad, almost like a slaw, that's actually going to go on top, or you can serve it with the soup. So we're going to use, now this would typically use, for these ingredients in more of like a Burmese style or Malaysian style salad, they'd use usually like a Napa cabbage or some other type of cabbage. You can use whatever you want. Kale is obviously, we can get some nice local kale in season. So I'm using kale, but you can use any sort of cabbage for this. And what I want to do is sort of shred it up. So we're going to cut it up fairly thin. So I kind of stack them up like this. Now some of the small leaves have a very thin stem you can keep, but any of the bigger leaves you can remove the stem a little bit, just because it's pretty fibrous. We're not cooking it. So very simple. You can either cut it out with a knife or hold the end with your fingers, and with your other finger grab the top of the stem, and just it should rip right out like that. So kale kind of shredded up like this, and you can see it's almost like that coleslaw type of look. So that's going to go into our bowl. And I have a couple of the ingredients in here, which I'm going to show you in a second. So a shallot. You can even use red onion. You know, this is one thing we talk about. Anytime an ingredient's rolling around like this on a board, it's not the safest. So cut it in half first so that it has a flat end, and then it's stable and you can slice your way through it. I like it pretty thin, but you know, you can make it a little thicker. The dressing in this salad is actually going to help to break down the onions a little bit. So especially if you don't like harsh onions, or the heat that comes from onions, this lime juice will help to break it down. So I'm going pretty aggressive on the lime juice. I'm adding 2 limes to this. It's not only a dressing for the salad, but the lime will start to break down the kale, which can be pretty fibrous. And if you leave this, if you even do this the day before, you have it the next day, it's going to be even better. So 1 lime in. Use the zest, free ingredient. Just wash your limes really well. Right at the end, yeah. So right at the end, and I'll show you in a sec. So second lime, juiced. Oh, this one was not as good. Sometimes you get an empty lime. In, and then if you want a little bit of chili, it's optional, right? If you don't like it spicy, don't add it. If you like a little bit of heat,
it might help warm you up in these winter months.
Exactly. And one thing, again, I always say, even the same type of chili, the heat can vary. So if you're serving it for yourself, you like the chili, you don't care too much about the heat, that's fine. But if you are serving it to guests, try it first. And it's a good rule of thumb. It's something that I should be practicing more, because sometimes you throw a chili in there and it knocks them off their chair. Sometimes there's no heat at all. So a little piece at the end. This would be bad if it was really hot in front of you guys.
We'll give him 10 seconds to see how hot that is.
But it's good. Like, it's not even that hot at all. So I know now, if I'm serving it to somebody, I can let them know it's not that spicy. So that's it. So I mean, I like to put it right on top, get all that texture in there. Really beautiful color. There's very little fat in this, so I'm sure Christy won't mind. Just a little bit, just a little bit of olive oil right at the end.
Beautiful. A heart-healthy oil.
Yeah, really nice, perfect for the weather.